you guys being at a benefit. All right, give yourselves a round there. This is not my first benefit comedy show. I did a literacy benefit in Perry County. Told some of my comic friends, are like, was it in a barn? It was. It was. Sometimes the jokes write themselves. Well, we're here tonight at the Vineyards at Hershey in downtown Hershey. You don't think they're trying to capitalize on that sweet chocolate money, do you, by adding the Hershey thing in there? I was expecting some Oompa Loompas to be the sommeliers. Sommeliers, well, that's a tiny joke there, little joke. We're actually closer to 3 Mile Island than we are to Hershey. Lean into that. Who wouldn't want to go to 3 Mile Island Vineyards? That's a good time. Would you like to try the radioactive red? That's nice. What is that? It's an isotope. That's good. That's nice. Yeah. You go to 3 Mile Island Vineyard, you're going to get a hangover and see-through walls. You're going to get some superpowers. Hershey Vineyard. All right. Hershey is a ways away. My family and I went to Hershey Park, and we saw 2 people get kicked off the Candemonium. That's the new $50 million roller coaster when you walk in. Yeah, they got kicked off. Not for behavior, they didn't fit. Yeah. Again, they got kicked off the Candemonium, a ride themed after candy. Are you seeing the problem with this? You go to an amusement park and you don't fit on a ride, that's a tough pill to swallow. And these guys that got kicked off, they were some of the better chewers and swallowers I saw at Hershey Park. Avery's dad with a snort laugh, that was good. Yeah, to tell you the truth, I almost didn't fit on the Candemonium, and I am actual size. I was pretty snug fitting in there. And, if you get kicked off the Candemonium, you gotta look up, walk your shame. I'm gonna have some words for Hershey's. Like, you did this to me, Hershey's. Sorry, I'm not fun sized anymore. Did you guys get this? They got kicked off a ride called the Candemonium. You sit down in a peanut butter cup. You buckle up with a Twizzler. This is insult to injury. Guys, I'm not fat shaming them. Hershey's is fat shaming them. Hershey's might as well say, I'm sorry, you're too fat to ride the chubby chocolate choo-choo. They have a chair at the entrance. In case you're pretty familiar with the Hershey's lineup, you might want to check to see if you fit. And nobody does. They just walk by and like, what's the, a 45-minute wait? Yeah, I was going to do some intermittent fasting. 45 minutes on to line serpentines are good, but I'll get some steps in. Just water weight. You don't think there's any calories in this 5-gallon bag of kettle corn, do you? So the two people we saw got kicked off, they weren't together. One person got kicked off, and he was more tall than, he was rounded edges, but he was more tall than, but he didn't fit. And you ride in a line with 3 other people, 4 people total, and when he didn't fit, his buddies were like, if you can't ride, we're not going to ride. He's like, well, that's good. Another guy we saw, it was he and her couple. They were a nice looking pair. They looked like bears. Just telling you what they look like. And they were struggling to get the struggling. They sent over the emergency security staff to help out, also known as 16-year-olds. And at the last second, he got some things to ship around. His Twizzlers went together. Hers did not. And I'm like, well, he's going to be a gentleman. And he did not get off the road. He actually turned to the guy next to him, high-fived him, and said, "It's about time someone tells her." She was not Hershey Park happy. I was like, "Buddy, I hope you have a good time on this ride because you are not going to be on that ride anytime." That's Hershey Park. I'm from the area. A couple years ago, I moved my family to Alabama. Doing pretty well at work. My boss came to me and said, "Hey, he said, you're doing such a good job at work. I want to congratulate you. You're going to go live in Alabama with the Alabamians." Like, all right. We were concerned. We had 3 kids, and it was the first time we were going to move them out of school. And again, going to Alabama, I don't know if you know, they're not well known for their academics. They do some things well in Alabama. They play football really well. Those kids can read the defense, but they can't read. You're going to hear a lot of roll tide, but those kids aren't going to make the honor roll. Got down there and got some indications of some problems really quickly. Again, from Perry County. So if I'm noticing some problems with your education system, might be a problem. Happened pretty quickly. Our kindergartner came home, first day of school. He was practicing reciting his numbers. Very common kindergarten activity. He's like 7, 8, 9, 10. I was like, whoa, 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 what'd you say there? He said 10. I said, that's not what we're going to say. He goes, well, my teacher says 10. I was like, well, she's from Alabama. There's smart people in Alabama, and there's not smart people in Alabama, and you can't tell them apart. He said, Dad, what's the difference between 10 and 10? I said, about 10 IQ points. So we're not going to say it that way. My 5th grader came home on the first day of school. This is all first day of school. And he tells me what happened. They had a geography review. Teacher was holding up a big map, getting them excited about the things they were going to learn that year. And she's pointing some different things out of each state. She's like, here's Texas, y'all. Texas is the biggest state in the country. My son raised his hand. He goes, actually, Alaska's the biggest state. Alaska is bigger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. Did you guys know that? Yeah. Alaska? Yeah. I only bring that up because one time I was going over this, and a comic friend of mine was like, wait a second, people are laughing, but Texas is the biggest state, right? So I just want to make sure. I don't want to put this person's name out there, but his initials are Avery Quinn. Kids looking like new kids have done it. I was like, buddy, were you embarrassed? He goes, yeah, Dad, for them. I was embarrassed for them. He goes, that's not where Alaska is, and that's not to scale. She goes, no, it's a map. It's not for weighing things. changed activities, and a few minutes later, the teacher was at her desk, and she was like, she's like, hey, y'all, the new kid was right. They looked at him like he was a sorcerer. Where did you get that information? Our textbooks are from 1942. That same first week, we got a call from the principal. This is my big concern. Our daughter, our sweet third grade daughter. He goes, are you the father of Leah? I said, I am. Well, we think your daughter's gifted. Like, it's the second day of school. What did she do to make you think that she's gifted? He goes, well, she drew a real pretty picture of a kitty cat. That's your gifted test in Alabama? Seeing some problems. He goes, no, sir, we have an actual test. We like to test her. I was like, she's not gifted. She's from Pennsylvania. That's what you're seeing there. He goes, well, we sure would like to test her. I was like, all right, test her. That's fine. Calls in a couple days later. He goes, well, sir, she got a 20. I said, see, a 20%? I told you she wasn't gifted. He goes, no, sir, a 20 out of 20? Like, your gifted test only goes to 20. Let me see the test. The test had 2 questions on it. First question was, please find and locate Alabama on this here map. Second question was like, how many possums in a 2-possum pie? He started to tell us about the things that they were learning in the gifted program. And I was like, oh, you mean like school in Pennsylvania? So we have 2 boys here. We'd like to get them tested for gifted as well. He goes, well, no, sir. Not everyone's gifted. I want you counting your possums. So please test the boys. He tested. Calls back a couple days later. He goes, well, sir, I do not believe it. 3 out of 3 gifted kids in your family, sir. What's in them kids? 23 sets of chromosomes. I think that's what's happening. Mother and I are not from the same family, so that's what's going on there. Did that shock some of you being from Perry County? We loved our year in Alabama. We did. Did you ever go to a family reunion and you look around and you're like, I'm doing pretty good. That's what it's like in Alabama. It's like, I'm the smartest person here. We came back home and got the kids re-enrolled in school, and we're like, hey, they're gifted. And they're like, really? They weren't when they left. It's like, well, it's, there's reciprocity. If they're gifted in Alabama, it's gifted here. It's the same thing. They're like, ew. We're going to need to test the kids here. So they tested them, and I'm happy to say 3 out of 3 not gifted kids. We're like, welcome back home, kids. We had a great year in Alabama. We love you. You're not gifted. Roll Tide. Coming back home, I love to explore historical areas. Any history buffs out there? Yeah. Love Gettysburg. Gettysburg is one of my favorite places to go. Gettysburg, rolling hills, quaint little town, orchards, forests. Love Gettysburg. When I go to Gettysburg, I just like to look over that and I'm like, man, I'd like to kill a lot of people here. Every general that fought at Gettysburg said the same thing. They're like, this is beautiful ground for a battle. I'm like, what kind of childhood did you have? That you look over this and like, who wants to go for a picnic? That's what I do. There was some talk about a second Civil War. This is a bad idea for several reasons. One is 150 years ago, these guys were warriors. And now it's me. Like if I was a general at the second Civil War, at Gettysburg, I'm like, all right, boys, who's with me? Who's with me for a bike ride? We'll get ice cream, it'll be fun. As a historian, I sometimes have to take positions that are not popular. For instance, I do support the use of the Confederate flag, but it needs to be historically accurate. If you're going to fly the Confederate flag, just make sure you fly a white flag. They lost. Oh, no. Guys, that's a surrender joke. Surrender. They didn't like that joke in Alabama. Now, that joke does not do well down south. And by down south, I'm talking about York, PA. Almost got a spitter there. I saw that. I was thank you. I appreciate that. You've been to York. Okay. Jenny Wade was the only civilian killed in the Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 soldier casualties and one civilian. What was Jenny Wade doing? Was she a battlefield nurse? No. Was she secretly dressed like a man? You're not going to cancel me. No transgender jokes. No, she's just baking bread, just living her best life. That's what she was doing. I wish I had a time machine. I'd like to go back and talk to Jenny Wade while a 3-day battle is happening at her house. That's my time machine. Hey, Jenny, how's it going? You baking bread today, Jenny? You think today's a good bread baking day, Jenny? You think today's a good day to bake bread? Jenny, she'll look out the window over here. Look out there in the front yard, Jenny. What are you seeing? Yeah, it's a Civil War, Jenny. So I don't know if today is a good day for you to be baking bread. Ah, Jenny. Caught one in the neck. They have a museum. You can go see. It's called the Shrine to Jenny Wade. They honor her for being a dumb broad. I love using that word because it's a funny word and it's a comedy night. And also, if you knew Jenny Wade, she's eating most of that bread. She's a big gal. Okay, she's a broad gal. Do you know what her mother did the next day? She finished baking the bread. You had one job to do, Jenny. I don't want you guys feeling bad for Jenny Wade. She died on the 3rd day of the battle. It wasn't like she was caught unawares. She's like, what's going on? It's the 3rd day, Jenny. They portray her as an innocent bystander, but I like to think of her as an unreal gal. She just goes over and throws open the window. She's like, hey! Keep it down! I'm trying to make some bread in here! The North and the South could not agree on anything. But this is one thing. They're like, kill that broad. Just both sides lit her up. It was like the last scene of Platoon. I want you guys to go to Gettysburg and go to Jenny Wade's museum. Tell them the things I told you today. Tell them Tom Sykes told you that. Give you a few months to do that, then I'll go down. Like, hey, I'm Tom Sykes. Get out of here. I'll be the 2nd civilian killed at Gettysburg. I'm 40. When I turned 40, my balls started falling off. Is that happening to anybody over 40 here? No? Just me? All right. May of 2020, at the height of the COVID lockdown, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Yeah. I think I would have rather had COVID. I don't know if you know this, but the first thing they do to treat testicular cancer is they remove the testicle with the tumor. So now I'm down to just 2 testicles. I don't want you to feel, guys, I feel bad for laughing at that joke. That's a cancer joke. Cancer jokes kill. All right, thank you. I know why we're here tonight, and my family has been, we've had a lot of loved ones pass from cancer, and people go through their struggles. I am not mocking anybody's experience with cancer. But I had cancer in the balls. And it's pretty funny. So we're going to talk about it. When Avery asked me to do this show, show. He was like, by the way, you're not the diversity hire because I am the diversity hire because this is a cancer benefit. So people don't like these jokes. The lady comes to me, she's like, there's nothing funny about cancer. I don't appreciate your scent. It's like, well, that's hilarious. I no longer have a scent. Some people are inspired. They're like, wow, man, you get up on stage and share your personal information like that? That is great. That takes a lot of balls. Not quite as many as you think. Avery asked me to do a half an hour, but because it's a cancer benefit and he loves me, he's going to let me go a little bit longer tonight. I want to share my story of cancer. All right? I found a lump. I went to the doctor. I was exposed. Doctor's holding on to me, looking back and forth at images on his computer. Usually when I'm in this situation of holding on to my own balls, I'm looking at my own computer, okay? But this was 2020, crazy year. I was like, what's going to happen, doctor? In 20 seconds, he goes, well, this right testicle is coming out. All right. I was surprised, but I was shocked because my doctor also looked surprised. That's not a look you want your doctor to have. He was like, didn't anybody tell you? It's like, I'm sorry, that's my fault. I thought because you were the doctor, you would tell me that information. My bad. Was that what Cheryl at the front desk was telling me? Was that when she was like, Tom, come on back, the doctor will see you now. Like, was she like giving me the no, doc, nobody told me, I didn't know. And the 20-second diagnosis seems a bit rushed, doesn't it? Let's just pump the brakes on that. Don't we do a tissue sample? We send that into the lab does everything, they send it back to us, we sit down, we talk about it. I've seen Grey's Anatomy, doctor, that's how this works. Guys, is that how it works? I don't know, I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. Listen, I lost the ball, I'm not a bitch. He goes, Tom, from what I'm seeing, I think you have cancer. I was like, okay, well, if we're sharing things we think, I think you went to doctor college at the University of Phoenix Online, that's right. He goes, look, I hear what you're saying, but we can't know and guarantee, we can't confirm that it's cancer until after the surgery. So I'm going to have to move forward and treat you as if you have cancer. I was like, okay, well right now it feels like you're treating me as if I have spare balls. That's how it feels like you're treating me. He goes, look, we gotta go for the surgery, we have to have it, but let's just keep our fingers crossed. After the surgery, we're gonna get a report back from the lab, and if you're lucky, I'd love to tell you that you don't have cancer. It's like, okay, you don't know what the word lucky means. Let me get this right. You think lucky means being told you have cancer. Having a body part removed, one of your faves, by the way. And then he's like, turns out we didn't have to do that because somebody is lucky. If that's lucky, I never want to be lucky ever again. I'm doing dishes at home, my wife's like, what are you doing there, Tiger? You gonna get lucky tonight? I'm like, nope. Nobody said anything about getting lucky. Nobody said anything about getting lucky. This is a lot to process. I said, is everything else okay? And he goes, well, everything else is fine, but your wife called, and she would like us to take the other one out as well. Well, doctor had jokes. A minute after he tells me I have cancer. Listen, Patch Adams is a great movie until he's your doctor. So you have jokes, doc? He goes, well, they say laughter is the best medicine. But listen, I want you to use real medicine on me. I want you to use real medicine on me, doc. When the results came back, spoiler alert, it was cancer, and I was like excited about that. I'm like, yes. He's like, no, didn't you hear me? I'm like, yeah, it's gone. Like this is, we're gonna put it back in. You know what I mean? We're not. This is the news I wanted to hear. I had my surgery the day after Memorial Day. We lost a good soldier that day. From the time that I was like, what's this? By the way, I was on the phone talking to a friend, just kind of jiggling my balls. Just so you know, if you're talking to a man on the phone, 80% chance he's playing with his balls. Nothing sexual, it's just something we like to do. So from the time that I was like, what's this? A week until they're pushing me back into surgery. And people are like, man, how did you mentally prepare for that? I didn't have time. It happened really quick, like that. But I did have time to physically prepare. That last weekend, my wife and I set new distance and time and speed records. You want to know what your 2-ball base is? Got to the hospital that morning, and you start filling out forms. You meet the administration, like, fill this form out for permission to treat you. Fill this form out so we can bill your insurance company. Fill this form out as a waiver so you can't sue us in case they take the wrong one out. I was like, I know that doesn't happen very much. It's just a formality, right? And she's like, well, it happens more than you think. Often enough that we need a form. I was pretty calm before that, but when she said that, like, I started getting like a little bit like, you know? And she called a nurse in and she goes, hey, he's scheduled to get a value. He's kind of freaking out. Why don't we give him that value now, calm him down a little bit since he's freaking out. So they gave me a value because I was freaking out. And then I started freaking out. A little bit about me, I don't do drugs, never did. I grew up in the 80s and Nancy Reagan told me not to. All right, Nancy, I won't. So you can imagine that this value sent me tripping balls. First and last time that I tripped, I just trip ball now. It took me back, and I mean, I am just like, woo! And they give a bracelet because they're just losing people at the hospital, right? They scan you in. She's like, what are you here for? I'm like, I don't know, but Reddy's coming out. She's like, it's called a right radical orchiectomy. I was like, what? You know, I'm just, like, I'm seeing all sorts of things. I look over here, there's a coyote in the corner. Willie Nelson's over here. I was like, this is crazy. They take me back, and I sit down with my procedural nurse. My procedural nurse happened to be a male nurse. The only reason I bring that up, because I think it was an issue for him. I think he was made fun of a lot in his life for being a male nurse. He came in just called manly. His name was Rob. I'm like, that's kind of gay. I don't know. He came in, he's like, oh man, I just came from the gym. I was working out. There's a lot of hot nurses here, am I right? I'm like, calm down, Rob. I'm losing a ball today, so you don't have to get his sleeves rolled up. I was like, again, that's kind of gay, Rob. Whatever. And he's telling me about my procedure, and then he goes, do you have any questions for me? And he had this tattoo on his arm that said Lumiere in big letters. And we are just locked. We're not listening to a word. He says, we're just locked in looking at this tattoo. Me, Willie, the coyote. He goes, do you have any questions for me? I was like, yeah, how much do you like Beauty and the Beast? He goes, oh, very funny. Lumiere means lights. I speak French. I'm French Canadian. I'm like, that is gay, Rob. That was my song that my wife and I danced to. Thank you very much. I was like, all right, Gaston, just calm down. This is about me today. This is about battle. I was still tripping out there, and they pushed me back into the surgery. Turns out I was a bit of a hero that day. Rob kind of a douche, and people like me making fun of him. They scan me in again, the anesthesia scans me, and he's like, oh, just making sure you're not on discount, no full price. I was like, you sure I'm not half off? That's when I heard my doctor say, well, somebody just put him down. Like, did I go to a veterinarian? Is this... I got the Bob Barker special. Have a pet steak there. I woke up with a cone around my head. What's my time?
30.
I'm at 30. I love you guys. I have fun telling these jokes, but I have cancer. I can tell these jokes You can. Don't think we're cool. Don't come to me like, hey Tom, how's it hanging? You're going to hell. No, I had a good time, except in the month of April. Do you guys know April's Testicular Cancer Awareness Month? No, nobody does. I didn't get a phone call, text message. Nobody wished me happy Ball Cancer Month. I get a gift. I don't know what you get for a ball cancer guy. Like, don't get me shoes, don't get me gloves, nothing that comes in the left and right pair. Don't do that. That's not. But April? Come on. But we need better marketing. When's breast cancer awareness month? Everybody knows it's October. It's pink billboards. They wear pink jerseys in the NFL, pink shoes, pink socks, right? Everything's pink. Breast cancer awareness is awesome. They get the word out. Breast cancer awareness is in your face. And that's where teens ought to be. This is a cancer benefit. Ladies, come out. Unless you're for cancer. That part of the show always makes me nervous because I have my mom and my sisters come, and I'm like, not you guys, don't you? Kidding, I'm from Perry County. Already seen them. And they're fabulous. But come, I love October so much. I like to call October Teen-tober. That's what I like to call it. Knocker-tober? I don't know. Have some fun with it, ladies. But nobody knows it's April. Listen, here's what I propose. Let's keep our favorite things together. We can go right from Teen-tober and swing into Nuttember. Right? I'll be swinging a little bit less than you guys. NFL, I get it. You can't wear pink jerseys, but I don't know. Maybe some wrinkly, heavy socks. Some nice veiny gloves. I got a decent slogan worked out. The NFL and testicular cancer, we both have funny shaped balls. That's when I remembered a conversation with my doctor. He goes, Tom, did you find this that very first day in the office? I said, I did. I wish I had a better story. It was twins, Doc. I said, I did find this. He goes, well, I'm impressed. This is the earliest detection I've ever seen. I said, well, Doc, don't be impressed. I play with my balls a lot. I started thinking, I don't know that we need a testicular cancer awareness month, do we, guys? The monthly self-checks, we're already doing it. You can't improve upon 1,000% compliance. We don't need billboards that say, save these nuts. We need billboards that say, like, okay, fellas, let's get two hands on the wheel. Let's not check right now in traffic. Let's give these nuts a rest. Testicular cancer awareness month should just be like, just don't touch them for a while. That first day I left the doctor's office, and he gave me some words of encouragement. He goes, Tom, you caught this early. You gotta beat this. I said, Doc, I've been beating these balls for 25 years. We're not gonna stop now. I'm going to get off here soon, but I do have some frequently asked questions when I go over this, and I'm going to go that now. I'm glad that you're all laughing at this. It's important to kind of take back and fight back in different ways, and laughing at cancer helps me out, and I appreciate you guys laughing with me. People say, hey, Tom, is this, the first question I get, frequently asked question like, is this true? Yeah, what kind of a demon do you think I am? That I would stand before you and tell you that like, that's my, wait till you hear my heart disease story. Another question people have, but they don't like to ask, they're like, Tom, does it work? That's a question I had for the doctor right away. I was like, Doc, is it going to work? Because if it's not, let's just tell him stage 4 got me. Just take me down. He goes, yeah, it's going to work. Why don't you think it would work? He goes, you know everything works down there, right? I was like, oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. Magic? I don't know how it works down there. I don't know. He goes, look, Tom, in a healthy male, your testicles only produce at about 5% of their capacity for testosterone. At 5%. Ladies, if you came with a man tonight, look at that man. He's only at 5%. That monster's at 5%. There's not a lot of room for error. Cosby was at 6%. Don't do that. He goes, Tom, what's going to happen is about a week after your surgery, you're going to realize your body's going to know that you're weak, you're low in testosterone. And Lefty's going to pick up the pace and cover down, and there's going to be smooth sailing, no problems. I said, okay. That's what he said. What he did say was it was going to be exactly 2 weeks after at 1:30 in the morning. Here's what happened. I was fast asleep, and Lefty's just lifting a 5-pound weight. Brain's like, hey, Lefty, we're a little low. Pick it up. Lefty's like, come on, Brent, let me go. Don't my 5-pound weight. Brain says, Lefty, let's go. Pick it up. We're low. Lefty's like, come on, Brent, let me go. Brain's like, Lefty, let's go. I need you to pick up the pace. Lefty looks over at his friend Righty. He's like, Righty! We're ready to go. Brain's like, Lefty, pick it up and you're next. Lefty dropped the 5-pound weight and started doing power cleans. Lefty went crazy. Lefty went nuts. Little nuts. Lefty went nuts. I had so much testosterone flowing through my system that I woke up in my wife. She woke me up. She's like, hey, I'd like to know what's going on. I said, hashtag me too. All right, I'm going to leave. I wish I could stay and talk with you longer. I have some more jokes, but I'm going to get off here. You guys have been a great audience. Again, it's weird. I don't like to say that, I don't like the survival word. I don't like that. It's been 3 years. I have to go back. I had tests. I have scans. I feel like I got lucky. When I go to these appointments, there's people that are dealing with much more significant situations. And I just feel like I got off kind of easy. And that's something my wife has always said. But no matter what you're going through, whether it's relationship things, whether it's finances or money or whatever, we have a choice to deal with things the way we want to. And as it turns out, laughter is a pretty good medicine. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.